Hello once again, fellow simmers. Finally made another video here, or I'm about to make it, I should say. So I know there's a lot of videos out there already that are comparing the difference that Vulkan is making now, rather than using OpenGL with a X-Plane 11.50 beta, which is currently on beta 4. Um, I've tried it and I seem to see that it's working for mostly everything. They updated the airfoil lab Cessna 172 pretty much immediately. They uploaded SkyMax Pro, which I use pretty much the next day after the first beta. And there was some problems with Xpilot. I remember seeing that there was a lot of people having issues with the latest version, which is 1.3. Now it's on 1.3.1.2. But for me, it seems like everything is working pretty good right now, and I have seen in some places a pretty dramatic improvement in frame rate. So once again, the specs of my computer are a Core i7 8700K. I'm running at stock right now. I have 32 gigs of DDR4, 3200 megahertz memory, and 11 gigabyte EVGA GTX 1080 Ti. And X-Plane and all my scenery is installed on SSDs. Actually, X-Plane is on an NVMe SSD, and all my scenery is loaded on a SATA SSD. Windows is also on an SSD. So I'm going to see what differences it makes between OpenGL and Vulkan on my system. I'm currently running with these settings. So basically visual effects are on high, texture quality is on high, anti-aliasing is all the way up to the max, number of world objects is max, reflection detail I have it completely turned off, and I have off draw shadows on scenery, and draw parked aircraft is on. And as you can see right now, I do not have Vulkan enabled. So I'm just gonna do a taxi and take off, go around the pattern, and see what it does here. Historically I've always had a loss of frames as soon as I was approaching into the LA area, and a little bit of stuttering. So we'll see what it does. So right now here I'm getting about 23 frames outside. So if you can, as you know, Mr. X6 scenery is pretty detailed, so there is a lot of vehicles, a lot of cars, baggage carts and all kinds of stuff. So, and with the real weather right now, turned on, it's pretty low, in the 20s here, 21 even. So I'm pretty much at the edge of not being able to fly at VATSIM if I was to fly with these conditions because of the frame rate. Downtown LA, once you start getting away from all the airport details, it gets better. Like right here I'm getting 26 if you just look towards downtown LA, and the farther you get away from any big buildings and everything, it gets even better sometimes. Once you start getting over here into the water, I got up to 32, 33, and inside is usually where I have seen the most dramatic drop. So here I'm getting 20, 21. When you look at the instruments is when I've noticed that you get the most dramatic loss. So right here we get 28, but once you bring some instruments into the mix here, it immediately goes down to 20, 21. So that's going to be the big problem here when you're actually trying to fly the airplane. So I'm going to go ahead and taxi and do that pattern and see what it looks like in different parts of the approach. So I'm going to cut out a lot of parts because obviously this is not just to see the whole entire flight, it's just to see what the frame rates are during different parts of the flight. Well, that guy's pretty reckless. He didn't even look. I'm just gonna go ahead and take off from this intersection. And there's the In-N-Out Burger where I always go record airplanes over there. Okay, here we go. So right now we got 40 frames right here, since we're not seeing a lot of the details on the terminal. Hopefully I got the balance right of the microphone and the simulator sounds, because sometimes it could overtake the volume on the microphone. But I think I got it narrowed down. Okay, gear up. Try not to go up into the clouds just so we could still have all the buildings and scenery drawn, because that's really what I want to see. Out here the frames are great. It seems to be holding in the mid 50s. Actually I'll go north a little while and then I'll try to intercept the Santa Monica VOR, just like if I was coming down on the Ironman arrival. Somewhat. Okay, I'll start my turn towards the Santa Monica VOR here. I'll stay at about 5,000 feet until reaching Santa Monica. So now I went down to 27, 30 frames a second. Seems to be holding at about 32. Because we're coming over the land now, so we lost over 20 frames just when we turn towards the land. So the reason I'm doing this with the maximum world objects is because this is how I normally want to fly, but I could never do it because with OpenGL the freezing and the pausing would sometimes get pretty bad. Especially coming down here like I am right now. So right now it's barely making it over 23, 22 frames. It's struggling to stay above 20. Just barely. Kind of surprised it hasn't had any stuttering yet. Usually by this point, when I was on 1141, it would already be stuttering like crazy. Maybe they improved something in the back end also for OpenGL. Okay, I'm gonna level off right here for now until I get about 12 miles from the airport. Usually try to follow the Los Angeles River there to do my base. That's the one that goes right along the 710 freeway. Alright, I guess now's a good time. Turn about to 160 degrees for now for the base. I think I overshot the final a little bit. That's okay. Flaps 10 now. Go ahead and land on the south side then. We'll go flaps 15. Gear down now. Yeah, so now I went to 19 frames. 20. Just barely being able to hold under right about 20. Okay, let's go flaps 30. see once we get closer to the airport what it does. The closer I get to the airport, the better it's getting.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Burchell, as we said.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
I forgot it's thinking that I'm going to the north side, that's why the localizer doesn't match for this one.
Flight slow. 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 Flight slow.
It's actually doing 30s right now, that's interesting.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
Oh, there was a little stutter.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That's always not the best landing, but it'll do. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and restart the simulator and see what we get there. So right here we're getting about 35, 36 outside with all the terminals over there in view. Even up to 40. But once we go inside it goes down a little bit. Actually it's not even going down that much right now. Wow, this OpenGL with 1150 is really surprising me pleasantly. But anyways, I'll be back. We'll see what we get with OpenGL, I mean with Vulkan.